the African Utility Week studio. I'm Babalwa Pungani, editorial assistant of ESI Africa magazine. Joining me in studio is Knox Msebenzi, who is the managing director of the Nuclear Industry Association of South Africa. Welcome, Knox, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
Knox, I want us to talk about nuclear. It has been a trending topic for some time now in South Africa. It has even gained the interest of political organizations, some saying the expansion of the new nuclear build will be a burden for generations to come. So what is your views around this?
The issue of nuclear is not really, perhaps not properly communicated. There are a lot of people that look at it from purely a cost point of view and looking at numbers. We tend to look at it from an investment point of view and in terms of return on investment. So we don't even ask the question as to what is the cost, because it's a very narrow view. We believe in asking the question, what investment and what is the return on investment in embarking on this? We could almost say the production of electricity could be regarded as a byproduct. The bigger picture is the industrial development, the job creation, the expansion of the nuclear industry in general, such that you have many revenue streams. Very few people today know that we're getting in excess of R1 billion through nuclear products at the Nuclear Energy Corporation of South Africa, for example. That is the kind of thing that we're talking about. It's not just about power production, it's part of the equation, but we're talking about a big picture of economic development for job creation in this country.
And speaking of economic development, in late March, KPMG released a report that it did for Eskom, which showed economic development and how much it injected into the Western Cape economy as well as South Africa at large. And the total was 4 billion rand. So now, based on this results, would you encourage other sectors in the energy sector, in the energy sphere, to do the same kind of study?
No, absolutely. Because when we make the decision to go forward in terms of our integrated resource plan, we need to be able to say what is the impact of the choice of energy source. We cannot afford the luxury of just following the herd. If people are talking about certain sources of energy as being sexy or whatever, we need to get back to the basics and say, what is it that will benefit us in the long run? A lot of people will use this language to say we will burden generations to come. We look at it differently. We are actually planting a heritage for our children that they will be proud of. All the successful economies of the world, all of them, including Germany, have got nuclear program. Germany has only just expressed this intention to exit the nuclear program. They might not, who knows? But every developed country has got a nuclear program. That must say something about nuclear.
Well, it seems like there still needs to be a lot of debate around this to actually understand the benefits of it.
Not so much the debate. I think it's maybe the discussion and education process. I think we've debated for far too long. We have been talking about this from say 2008, and when the load shedding started and so on. We tend to discuss for too long. I think it's time for action. We need to do stuff. We need to now build nuclear power plants so that our children can have access to cheap electricity. Quebec at the moment is the cheapest source of electricity for our grid.
Okay, so if you had to interpret the current energy or nuclear energy status for South Africa, how would you interpret it, and would you say this is the norm globally?
I think the issue in South Africa, in our country now, is the somewhat emerging democracy. We are kind of testing our democracy. The challenge is that the executive of government is facing from the courts is indicative of a democracy which is basically in transition. to become much more stable. In other countries where these rivalries are not well pronounced, these things get to be done very quickly. And also, in our situation, we are burdened by perhaps the external forces that influence public opinion in certain ways, to the extent that some of our people follow, basically what they are being told by other people. Yes, we need to have a discussion, but we should not be talking for too long, because it's a waste of time. It's time for action.
Lastly, before I let you go, Knox, tomorrow you're going to be participating in a panel discussion where the theme is reading between the headlines. What is South Africa's nuclear positioning? So what is your message going to be?
Our thesis as NIASA has always been the idea of an energy mix. It is necessary for us as a nation to look at the various sources of energy and have a basket of energy sources. The only debate that we should be having in the country is how much of each. What I would ideally want to see personally, as well as NIASA as an industry, a coherent energy sector dialogue where we come together as the various components of the energy sector, subsectors, and say this is the best way forward. The current approach where the various energy sectors seem to be in competition is somewhat dysfunctional, because it's not helping. As a result, the government is sitting there, is being challenged by all sorts of manner of things. What we should be doing is working together as Team South Africa to find a solution for the economic development of our country. That's the theme or the message that we want to be imparting to the public at our conference tomorrow.
Well, I hope all of those get to be addressed tomorrow. Thank you, Knox, for your time.
Pleasure.
I am Babalwa Pungane, reporting from the African Utility Week studio. Thank you for watching.